My name is Nestor, and I'm representing Team Panacea. 5 undergraduates, 2 of us are vets. Our problem sponsor was Kit Teague from the Department of Veterans Affairs, and our original problem statement was to provide them with a framework to sort medical practices for being best. If it sounds nebulous, it's because it was. Fortunately, over the course of 10 weeks, 108 interviews, and a fair amount of bickering and pivoting between ourselves, we narrowed it down to a problem statement that will empower VA employees to promote innovation within the VA. In case you didn't know, the VA is huge, but the numbers I want to bring to your attention are the 320,000 employees and the 172 medical centers. So it's week 1, spring quarter at Stanford, we're doing hacking for defense, everything is great. And the first question we had to ask, of course, is what makes a best practice and who decides that? And in pursuing that, our beneficiaries initially were practitioners, so doctors and nurses. We thought these were the people who needed to know which practices are best. So we pursued that and found, of course, that best is subjective. What's best at a rural center in Mississippi is not necessarily the best at the Palo Alto VA. So our original solution was to provide a way to give comparative analysis and remove those confounding variables, like population, resources, support. So this is week 1, and in pursuing that, we got a little tunnel vision. But what that brought us to was the importance of data, of high quality data, in driving the decision-making process. So our next thought, this is weeks 2 and 3, we're starting to think, okay, we'll improve the data collection by standardizing the documentation, which is a huge pain across the medical community, not just in the VA. And we got a lot of support from our interviewees, but it's week 2 and 3, we're still having a hard time bringing our problem to converge into a concrete statement, and so we're starting to have some issues with morale. And our fears were confirmed when we found out that A, we would not have access to data because of security reasons, and B, we would not be able to touch the software, the data collection software, because it was transitioning, it was going through a transition. At this point, our morale is at an all-time low. We're having trouble defining our problem. We thought we tried everything, and especially for those of us who are vets, there was a lot of emotional commitment to this project. So we really wanted to contribute something substantial. Fortunately, the teaching team got us together, gave us little pep talks, we recentered, refocused, and reapproached our sponsor with new and better questions. And this is where it gets interesting. We went and we asked them something that we should have asked them early on. Who needs this tool and how would they use it? And we found out about the innovation ecosystem. Champions of disruptive breakthroughs. As soon as we found that out, we asked them, all right, where can we go to get out of the building, and get the most bang for our buck in learning? And he told us about a VA-sponsored hackathon at MIT. We found out about it on Tuesday night. That Thursday morning, 2 of us were on a plane to Boston. While there, we talked to 13 key players, and at this point, we started to feel like we were catching wind under our wings. So just for context, the innovation ecosystem is relatively small. Out of the 172 medical centers I mentioned earlier, only 32 of them qualify as innovation centers. And across those centers, there are only 40 employees, the innovation specialists, who are essentially the entrepreneurs. They're champions of innovation, and they're supposed to be fostering a culture of innovation for 320,000 employees. With that in mind, we asked them, we asked many of them, We asked a few of them, we said, okay, if we could magically create this tool that our sponsor wanted, would you use it? And they said, not really. Because by the time innovations come to them, they know which ones are stupid. So nobody's really sitting there deciding whether a practice is a best practice or not. So at this point we realized, and this is where it gets really, really interesting, our problem is not about sorting practices, or innovations actually. It's about supporting the good ones. With that in mind, we were really excited because now we know we have something we can contribute. We updated our mission model canvas, our beneficiaries became the innovation specialist, and we were confident with this now. And with that, we developed a product that we are confident will contribute substantially to their mission. Enter the Innovation Resource Center. It's a knowledge repository of all the most experienced players in the VA so that people across the network can access it without nagging them through email chains. It's a project manager that will allow the innovators, the specialists, and the leadership to visualize the tracking of these projects in real time, see whose desk they're sitting on, what resources they need. And it will provide a visualized networking map so the innovation specialists can collaborate more effectively, see who's working on what project, who needs what, and what they've worked on, because nobody wants to reinvent the wheel. We're happy to say that we showed our prototype to almost all the innovation specialists, and they loved it. We also showed it to, oh God, okay, we're missing something. Okay. We also showed it to Carolyn Clancy, who is the Deputy Undersecretary for Discovery in the VA, the top buyer for this product. She loved it. We also showed it to Mike Quinn, who is the top IT guy in the VA, and he said he couldn't wait to introduce us to the people who would help us implement it. So at this point, you're probably wondering, what is our Panacea? All 5 members intend to pursue funding to make this project a reality and put it in the hands of the people who need it. And with that, on behalf of Team Panacea, we'd like to express our thanks for the opportunity to be part of Hacking for Defense and to have the opportunity to collaborate with, again, these highly dedicated and passionate people in the VA. Thank you.